Out of all the horror reactions that I do, home invasions have to be the most real stories to me because I've had someone invade my home before. It turned out all to be like a guy that was messed up just wandered in my apartment. But at the time when I was holding him at gunpoint, I didn't know that, you know? So when that happened, everything in my life has kind of taken shape over that. I've always been concerned about locking doors and home security and protecting myself, and that reinforced it big time. So when I see stories like this, I'm always thinking, I know what they're feeling. I know how it feels to have someone come into your home and scare the death out of you. Now, the guy that did it to me didn't have any malicious intent. But most of these stories do have people with malicious intent, and it's scary to think about someone actually just coming in your house and doing God knows what, you know. We're going to react to some stories today narrated by Spooked about home invasions. Make sure to subscribe to Spooked, guys, one of my favorite narrators on the internet. And let's get into this reaction.
When I was 15, this incident took place, and it shook me to my core.
Okay.
It's been over 5 years now, but whenever I hear some weird noise or even a slight creak, I get terrified.
That's me.
But on with the story.
Not terrified, but
it was a long day at school.
I get the gun.
I still remember every detail of that day.
Okay.
I remember I got a B on my test, and I was sad about that.
Sure.
I remember I ate a blueberry muffin for lunch. I remember I was angry at myself because I forgot my notebook at home.
Oh,
but most
gosh.
importantly, I remember there was this new boy who got transferred to our school.
All right.
His name was Anthony, and I remember seeing him in all of my classes.
Okay.
It was his first day, and weirdly, he shared the same schedule as mine.
Okay.
To be honest, he was kind of a creep.
Teenager,
Whenever I looked
right?
at him, I always found him staring at me. Even during gym class, I saw him looking at me from behind the bleachers. Later that day, I got back from school and was super tired.
Right.
I threw my bag on the beanbag and jumped on the bed and slept. I was up all night studying for that stupid test and still got a B.
Been there.
I was drained, so I decided to take a nap.
Right.
While I was in deep sleep, I heard noises, but it felt as if I was dreaming.
Okay.
I couldn't differentiate between what was a dream and what was real. It felt like someone was tapping on my window. The noise woke me up. I wasn't fully awake, but I tried to open my eyes.
Right.
I thought I saw Anthony behind my window.
Oh my God.
I got super scared and sat up straight in my bed. I rubbed my eyes and looked at the window again.
Didn't really see it.
But there was no one there.
I know how that is.
I didn't
Coming
know
to
if I made
real
myself
quick.
believe that it was Anthony or if someone was actually there.
Right.
But I just talked it up to me being tired.
You were
And
exhausted.
just having bad eyesight because it was so dark. The next day, I went to school and Anthony wasn't there.
Okay.
I didn't give much attention to that matter, but deep inside,
no.
I knew something was wrong.
He was at his house.
A few days
he was at
passed,
our house.
and it was as if Anthony never existed. Everything was ridiculously normal and boring. Hot summer days were killing me. I came back home from school and went straight to the kitchen
she just
to get
forgot
some cold
about
lemonade.
it.
I opened the fridge, and inside the jug of lemonade, there was a dead rat floating. I screamed. And
in
jumped away from
lemonade?
it. My parents came down and
Who
tried
would
to
do
investigate
something to
how it got
lemonade
there.
like that?
As I went back to my room,
Anthony, you
I
sick
started
effer.
listening to One Direction and almost forgot about the current situation. It was when my eye struck at my desk. There was a notebook there, which was certainly not mine. I opened it, and it had different sketches of a girl, and the girl was me.
Right.
I heard a creak and turned around.
Dude,
Do you like
Anthony
these?
is
It
in
was Anthony.
your house.
I screamed and ran out of my room. He told me to stay quiet, but I was already tumbling
Can
down
you
the stairs.
imagine?
I ran to my parents and told them what happened. They were running upstairs, but he was already gone.
He went
I
through the
quickly
window.
realized that he had placed the dead rat in the lemonade so he could lure my parents downstairs.
Wow.
We immediately reported the situation to the police, who later arrested Anthony at his home.
Wow.
A couple weeks later, rumor had it that he was sent to a mental asylum where he got proper treatment.
What a...
Turns out
Freak.
he was in a mental facility prior as well, but his parents thought a change of the environment might help him. They were wrong.
You didn't keep track of
Rather,
him?
it worsened his state, and since being in our school, it just made him go downhill from there.
Dude. Rat in the lemonade.
Tracy and I have been
Crazy,
friends
man.
since we were in kindergarten. Apart from being next door neighbors and best friends, we also shared the bond of sisters.
Okay.
She used to be at my place most of the time, or vice versa. One night, my mother wasn't home, as she had to take care of her grandma in the hospital.
Oh.
So I asked Tracy to come sleep over.
Sure.
As per the tradition, we chose a horror movie, got some snacks for the night, and put comforters on the couch.
You know?
I turned the lights off, and the only light in the room was coming from the TV.
Right.
We were invested in the movie
That looks
when I
comfy
suddenly
as
heard a
hell.
noise.
Right
It came
there.
from the balcony,
Comfy,
which was right
chilling.
above the living room, and the door to the balcony was in my room.
Alright.
I told Tracy to stay here. I ran upstairs and opened the glass door, which was unlocked.
Okay.
I went out on the balcony and saw a plant pot that was broken.
Huh.
I thought it must have been some stray cat or maybe a raccoon.
That's logical.
For some probably stupid reason, I didn't even think why the door was locked. I closed the door and went back to the living room. Tracy and I started to watch our
What do you
movie
mean?
again.
It wasn't locked normally?
A few minutes went by and we forgot about the balcony incident at all.
Right.
I took a sip of my Coke when suddenly the stairs creaked. I froze
Somebody
as
came
suddenly
up
it hit
the
me all
balcony.
at once. It was probably no raccoon or cat.
Mm-mm.
I looked over at Tracy and we both stood there silent, knowing someone besides us was in the house.
When you realize that, and
Without
you look at
moving,
somebody,
Tracy
you're like,
dialed 911 on her phone.
Oh my god.
Then,
thank
from the
goodness.
stairs, a deep and rough voice suddenly spoke. Shh, don't make a sound. I could picture the man as someone who was probably very large, and I wasn't
Wow.
wrong for that matter. I turned around and saw him. He was roughly 6 feet and had this disturbing smile on him. He was standing
Dude.
there with a knife in his hand. We both
What
shivered
the
with
hell?
terror. Then Tracy looked at me and yelled, "Run!" and we leapt to the back door of the house. Without looking back, we just ran, and I closed the door behind
You
me
know-
so that it would waste him time running after us. I heard his footsteps for a while,
Can you
but
imagine?
then weirdly it was silent again.
No, they young.
We jumped
He's
over the
6
fence
foot tall,
and looked
but if he
between the
was
cracks
heavy,
to see
if he wasn't
would find
muscular-
us. For some reason, he didn't even open the door. The police arrived shortly and searched the house.
No sign of him?
They found no one and thought that the man was gone.
Wow.
The police started to search in the vicinity. I described how the man looked.
Right.
They told us that a criminal was on the loose, and he might be the man they were looking for.
Dude.
I was terrified, and so was Tracy. We were still deciding what to do when an officer yelled that he found someone.
He didn't want
The
to
man
get
was still
caught.
in the house, hiding on a tree in our backyard.
What?
The police arrested him, and he was in fact the same criminal. The police later gave us more information
Wow.
regarding that man.
Hiding in
They
plain
said
sight.
he used to sneak into random people's houses and just scare them, dressing as a burglar.
Okay.
He got caught recently and was put in jail.
At least he
We
wasn't
were a
a
little
murderer.
bit confused when we heard about it, but we were also relieved that he was just pranking people for
Strange,
his own
though.
amusement.
Right.
The cops said they never heard about any criminal
Can
doing
you
this type of
imagine?
stuff, and so it was difficult for them to catch him. Looking back, I still don't really understand how a person could get some sort of thrill of breaking into people's homes and scaring
I
them,
mean, it's a hell
especially
of an
alone
adrenaline
like that
rush.
in the middle of the night. There was probably something really twisted about him.
Right. You know, there's no way. There's no way I would take the chance of going in somebody's house like that. I mean, I'm a rational human being, right? But think about it from a criminal's perspective if you can. There's many reasons to break into a home that I could think of. If you want access to someone or something that's in their home, you know what I mean? Like revenge or stealing something, you know, that's the type of things that I guess people that are irrational would do. Some sort of motivation to go in somebody's house, take the chance of losing your life because the homeowners are defending themselves. You know, somebody's random in their house, they're gonna shoot you or stab you, or you're gonna get at the very least arrested if you get caught. But just to freak people out, just to mess with them, just to prank them, are you crazy? What kind of an adrenaline junkie does that, man? I don't understand people, y'all. Spook stories though, very good. Make sure to subscribe to them, guys, as well as a couple other reaction videos that I think you'll love. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.
Break it down.